2. Here we go.
Pitching downrange.
It's going fast.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
All right, we are T plus 30 seconds into flight, seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor 3 engines on booster V3, ascending over the Gulf now, coming up on maximum aerodynamic pressure. Booster and ship, avionics power, telemetry nominal. Systems looking good. We're just passing through the period of maximum dynamic pressure. A little over a minute into flight now. Vibrations chilling out here at Star Factory as we continue to watch Starship Flight 12 arc out over the Gulf. The next major thing coming up is going to be hot staging.
Booster prop systems nominal.
Reminder, we do what's our version of MECO. Most engines cut off, so we're going to shut down all but 5 of the Raptor engines on the booster. And then after that happens, we're going to ignite the 6 engines on ship while it is still attached. We have clamps that hold the 2 together. Those are going to retract inside of that hot stage ring, kind of protect them. Looks like we had one of the engines go out, still flying on 32.
Great, one engine went out.
Again, once we get the hot staging, those 6 engines on the ship are going to ignite. We're going to do it in a little bit different of a
watch all engines go out all at once.
On version 3, essentially those 3 RVAC engines will ignite first. Almost immediately after, just one of those central engines is going to ignite, and that's going to give the booster a bit of a kick, sending it in a known direction, followed shortly after by the other 2. We're through MECO.
Each separation.
Here it goes.
There you go. Successful hot staging separation. We are not seeing as many booster engines ignite as we expected for boost back, but we are seeing 6 good engines lit on ship. It looks like we just had an early boost back shutdown. Again, a reminder, the booster was planned to essentially head into the Gulf for a splashdown, but it has shut its engines down early on into boost back. And we just see one of the RVACs, so we're now running on 5 engines on ship. We do have engine out capability, so it's going to continue into its ascent. You got booster on the left there, ship on the right.
Ship avionics power
Again,
and
we are
telemetry
not
nominal.
planning on bringing the booster back for this flight, as this was the very first time. All right, so we're about 3 minutes, 50 seconds into today's flight. Just a reminder that the ship
altitude's going down.
its engines for about 8 minutes and change. About 8 minutes and 11 seconds was our planned timeline.
Oh, it's going down fast.
That could shift slightly as we do have one engine out, running on 1 fewer RVACs.
This is going down.
Again, continuing to watch. So booster did not complete its boost back burn. We did not see all of the engines ignite that we expected. Are continuing to get some views from it, though. That's going to make a splashdown somewhere in the Gulf.
This thing
Reminder,
accelerated
we clear
fast.
air, sea space, everything for these launches. All right. right, so we are coming up on T plus 5 minutes. Ship continuing to fire 5 of the 6. Standing by for callouts, making sure ship's on its planned trajectory. Again, we are planning a suborbital trajectory for the ship today. Booster giving us some views as it continues to make its way back down towards the water.
And here we go.
All right, so a little over 5.5 minutes in flight. Kate, Jake, you guys with me? It looks like Booster's starting to come in hot.
It's coming in hot.
The
Here we
opportunity
go.
to stand outside to watch launch, and wow, that was incredible.
Yeah, that was really loud, really
Coming in
shaky,
hot.
and I was actually
Here we
surprised how
go.
fast the booster got off the pad or the whole stack. That was quite incredible.
Coming in hot.
Views here from the booster coming back down, making its way into the Gulf. Pretty cool to
We
see.
have healthy chamber pressures on 5 out of 6 Shape Raptor engines.
Great news there
Landing
for
started.
Starship.
Here we go.
Once again, we were not going to bring the super heavy booster back to the tower. We were planning on having it land in the Gulf.
And it looks like the booster ended its mission there in the Gulf, but we've got a ship still flying.
Exploded.
Engines there on S39.
Yes, we also heard good chamber pressures as well on those engines that are lit. We do have engine out capability. We do see
right.
that we have one of the RVAC, one of the Raptor vacuum engines that is currently out, but that's okay. Ship is continuing on. Amazing views of planet Earth there in the background.
Yeah, I love the S39 decal there.
This door is open. Just a reminder, we've got 22 deployables in the payload bay today. 20 of those Starlink mass simulators, and then 2 are Dodger dogs, as we like to call them internally, sitting up their modified V2 Starlink satellites. Those are going to be testing a bunch of components that we're planning to fly on Starlink V3, and we've also got them outfitted with a number of cameras for another tech demo that we're trying out on this flight. We definitely are looking for a way that we can look at Starship's heat shield while it's still in space. You can kind of only see so much from the cameras on the
Here it
flaps. You can't
goes.
see everything kind of on the underbelly, and one of the only ways you can do that is if you got something else flying near it. So we're going to attempt to, our final 2 satellites going out the door have a suite of cameras on them that are going to be looking back at the ship. We're going to be in nighttime, and so we've got, sounds like we're getting into payload deploy. We'll be in nighttime. They've got some powerful flashlights on.
Here it goes.
Try and illuminate the ship's heat shield while we fly away from it. So
Here it goes.
see some PEZ motion.
Send it out, baby. Let's go. Take it out. Let's go. Woo! Let's go. There it goes.
Pew, pew.
There it goes. Send on the next.
Two.
Here it goes.
As a reminder, that's one of the things that we upgraded in
Here it goes.
version 3. Kind of gave the
Yank it out. Let's
to the
go.
dispenser, so those satellites going to move out a little bit quicker than they did on previous Starship flight tests. So
There we go.
more on their way out.
There it goes. Bye-bye, sucker.
All right, 4 down, 18 to
Yeah.
go.
I was trying to like to see if I can like record it on here, like on the screen, but I forget how to. So I mean, this
Flexing
is
my
fine.
basic math skills
So
here
if I
today.
phone this, I don't care.
Again, the
I'll do it
majority
next
of
time
the
and try
stack,
to. I'm
20
gonna
of these
figure it
22
out.
satellites, they're essentially just mass simulators, so they're roughly the same size as those Starlink V3 sats that we're hoping to fly later this year.
There it goes, and yank it out. Let's go. There it is.
And from
Oh,
this
look at
top-down
that.
views, you're looking down at the stack. Those 2 satellites you see on the very top, that they'll look very different. They've got solar arrays. They've got a bunch of other deployables on them that we're going to be
There it
testing out
goes.
that are going to be V3 tech, and they've
Suck
got
it out.
3 engineering cameras and then 1 other camera that's hopefully going to be giving us some views of Starship in space. But we will
This is
see
gonna
how that works.
end pretty
Again,
fast.
very much a tech demo. We're going to deploy those. The satellite's going to kind of try and turn everything on, look back at Starship, and the primary reason we're trying to do this is to get some views of the heat shield.
Oh yeah, the heat shield's gonna look cool.
All right. 2 more
And
out
yank
the door.
it out. Let's go.
2 more out the door, and I
Out
think
the
that
door.
that comes up to 8 total.
USA! 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 USA!
See this demonstration happening. It's pretty incredible to see this happening live from space. Now, as we noted earlier in the show,
That's right, America, baby!
Starship version 3 is built to deploy up to 60 of Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites. Everything's V3. Designed to offer 60 terabits per second of downlink capacity per satellite. Now, that is 20 times more than each.
There it goes, out the door.
Incredible.
All right, I think that's number 10 going out the door.
Woo!
Yeah, there it goes.
There it goes.
So yeah, the camera view you have on your left screen there is basically right at the bottom of the payload volume. So the kind of dome-shaped structure you see there that's actually the top of the fuel tank.
Then the camera view that you have on the right is an external camera that we have positioned so that you can
All right,
see
it's
basically
going up.
the light through the open Pez dispenser.
Suck it out.
That you see, that's that sliver of light. And we can see the star.
There it goes.
Deploying as each one comes through.
Suck it out.
As we mentioned, we have 20 of these Starlink simulator satellites, and then we have 2.
Especially once we, fill Starship up all the way with around 60 or so of these Starlinks, being able to deploy them fairly expediently, is going to be important for designing the overall mission profile.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, fans of Starship may know that Starlink enables lots of unprecedented.
Yeah, and I might get it in
views
college.
we see here and on Earth.
No more
In
slow
addition to the
speed,
dozens
because
of
they're gonna
cameras
get this thing
on
up to
Starship
1
itself,
gig.
We also have
1
multiple
gig.
camera kits
1,000
deployed in the Indian
megabytes.
Ocean.
Yeah, Starlink also connects our aerial cinematography units on the ground at Starbase and at other strategic campuses around Texas.
It's all part of how it all comes
There it
together
goes.
to tell the incredible story of Starship.
Yank it out. Let's go.
Yep.
All right, we're getting low on the stack. It looks like we got 2 more of those simulators to go out, and then it will be time for our Dodger Dogs, those modified Starlink satellites. Just a couple of updates while we continue to watch payload deploy. Did get confirmation we're going to be skipping that relight of the Raptor engine, just due to everything that we saw on the way uphill. Those sea level engines, we're going to use them for a landing burn, though. They are still capable to be used for that. So we'll still look to do a controlled landing in the Gulf.
There it goes.
But no in-space relight.
Oh, a good idea, or else.
19 and 20 headed out the door.
There it goes. We're almost up to the hour mark. It's when we're gonna start going down.
So these are
This is going
modified
fast.
V2 Starlink satellites.
There it goes.
We do have a number of cameras on these that are going to attempt to look back at Starship. We're not going to get this video in real time, but we're going to try and turn it around if we do get some video down. So don't worry, if we get views of Starship from these satellites, we will be sharing.
Let's go!
These will be exciting because, again, they're really a tech demo, getting our chance to test out some of the technologies for version 3. All right, I think that's 18 and 20. My basic math skills are failing now. All right, here we go.
Oh, gee, this man, what in the world is this? Oh, jeez. And send it out.
We're standing by for Starship, basically to serve the first Dodger dogs to low Earth
Dodger
orbit.
dogs. Like Dodge? Like Doge? Here it goes. Oh, that Taco Bell going straight out. And get out of here. Let's go.
Side of the satellite, you see some bright white spots. Those are our flashlights. Beneath them, the camera is going to attempt to look back and image Starship's heat shield as it flies slowly away from the vehicle.
There it goes.
And there it goes.
Woo!
Let there be light.
Yeah, it almost looks like the light is just shining right at us there.
If you couldn't tell, we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
It is always sunny in space.
Always sunny in space, and that looks like an empty payload bay. So
Sure does.
That's
Look at that. We got recording of this. Look at that.
All right, so surprise. Looks like our cameras did work. We've made contact with both of those satellites.
This out of the way. Here we go. Here we go. It's about to start getting real fired up. I bet you when we get down to like 100, it'll start getting, yeah, I knew it. We keep dipping. Yep, it's lighting up. It's getting hot. We're going down. We're dipping now. Sounds like the song from Halo Infinite. All right, here we go. It's gonna start going down pretty fast. I'll be posting this on YouTube, so. Here we go. We are dipping. It's gonna keep going down. All right, here we go. It's getting close. Ooh. All right, here we go. We're going down fast.
Welcome back to Starship Flight
Here we
12,
go.
the first test flight of Starship version 3. As Dan mentioned earlier, we were able to make contact with the modified satellites just shortly after deployment. And as you may have seen, we got some sweet views of those sats looking back at the ship. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, those views were incredible.
Now, as you see on your screen, currently, the ship is re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. This is the plasma starting to build up on the exterior of the vehicle. Now, we do not plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's right. And re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship's systems perform. Re-entry is an extremely demanding portion of flight where we essentially have to scrub all of the energy we use to launch the rocket back off in reverse. So the 18 million pounds of thrust that we had off 33 of those Raptor engines.
Just a little.
Just a little. We're now, and then another, several minute burn on the ship. We're now basically undoing all that energy here via aerodynamic braking, essentially.
Uh-oh.
And of course, Starlink is a big part of it.
Uh-oh.
That's what allows us
It's gonna break. Uh-oh.
And
It's coming off. It's not gonna
the
look.
data gathering is really the main
This
part
no,
like
gee, that's gonna come
so
off.
Starlink provides us just
Oh,
one more
jeez.
path to collect that data that ultimately allows us to
It
rapidly
looks like
iterate
the whole
Starship's
thing's gonna
design.
go bam.
Manages to make it all the way through re-entry, will collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at these
Oh,
hypersonic speeds,
jeez.
which is basically more than 5 times the speed of sound. Now, we do anticipate that it might be a little bit of a spicy re-entry, so we'll see how far we get. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with the spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, roughly 8 kilometers per second, or for those of us that think in other units, roughly 5 miles per second. At those speeds, the spacecraft is moving through the atmosphere, and it creates that plasma field that we saw forming around the vehicle.
Yeah, and although the
Oh,
plasma
jeez.
looks really cool, it does distort some communication frequencies. So it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. Of course, thinking long-term here, Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. That's why we're going with the propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes. Propulsive landing, not only, again, is it more cool, but it enables a more rapidly reusable rocket.
Yeah. Now, we should hear some call-outs as the ship makes its way back to Earth. When we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that means the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads that it will experience as it returns. So if we make it through those, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah. And you can see in the bottom left right now, we're at 23,500 kilometers per hour speed. That's just a crazy number to think about. But as we keep progressing in the mission, we are going to hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. So transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, kind of in that Mach 0.8 to 1.2 range. And for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but mostly fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85. And after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out when Starship is subsonic. This refers to speeds that are much less than the speed of sound, so at this point in the flight, ship's velocity will be slowing down.
We definitely have a crowd still here in the lobby of SpaceX headquarters down here at Starbase, Texas. Everyone is, loves watching ship re-entry. It's always such amazing colors.
We're losing speed now. Yep, it's going down.
To be one of those praying mantis shrimp. Can't remember exactly what the name is, but the ones that see in billions of colors. This is the closest I feel to being one of those.
Yep.
We're going down.
One other thing that's
Man overboard.
look in the bottom right, you can see where we are on a globe there. We're squarely in the Indian Ocean already.
Man overboard.
We've only been flying for 53 minutes. So pretty crazy. We went all the way
this is
from
funny.
Texas to the Indian Ocean in less than an hour.
We're going
She
down.
flies pretty fast.
She
that
flies
is for
very
sure.
fast.
We're going down. Man overboard.
All right, so the light show continuing. We are through the period of peak heating, and we'll be looking at the peak pressure coming up in the next couple of minutes. The next 10 minutes are probably going to be the spiciest of entry today. As a reminder, we are going to be
here we
doing,
go.
some stress work on this ship, where we're going to do a maneuver where we kind of kick the nose up to fully deploy those aft flaps to really get a good
it's coming down.
that part of the ship. We did that on one previous flight test on version 2. We're going to try and do that today. Since we did skip
coming
the
down.
in-space burn, we're carrying a little bit of extra propellant in our header tanks up in the nose.
There we go.
And so that's going to put a little bit of extra stress on those forward flaps as we come in. So we will see if they're able to hold through that reentry.
Well, let's hope it
That will be
does.
another watch item. We did skip that in-space burn, but we are expecting at least 2 of those sea level engines to try and ignite for a landing burn.
Or else we're coming down. Kabam!
Period in a good attitude. So hopefully making our
Belly
way to
smack.
the targeted splashdown point. We got that Starship recovery team standing by, and we should be.
I don't know, but I'm
about
recording this right
10
now,
minutes
so
away
don't come up right now.
from splashdown. So a lot of excitement over the next couple of minutes. Kate and Jake, let's see how Starship holds up on the way in.
Yeah, and we just heard on the nets there that engine chill has started. So essentially what that means is we are prepping the landing engines by getting them down to temperature ahead of that landing burn later in the mission here.
And on a lot of our
Yep, it's
previous
coming.
flight tests, we've been removing a bunch of the tiles. If you've watched those, we were really intentionally trying to push ship beyond its limits. On the last
Speeds are
flight,
going
we
down.
had, basically a hole get punched into the liquid oxygen tank that you could see when we did the landing burn into the ocean, and this ship was still able to make it. But right now we're really going to be testing the structural strength of these flaps on the way in. And this is a flight test. We're trying to intentionally find where our limits are.
Push it to the limit. Then,
A whole bunch of tiles. I
Scarface.
think Jake talked about it earlier. We bonded some additional tiles to the leeward, or kind of the metal side of Starship, to see how those different bonding techniques would hold up.
We're still going down.
And looking like we've got quite a bit still attached.
Yep.
Yeah, and as we're going down through the atmosphere here, we are at about Mach 16.1. So still
Speeds are going down.
extremely fast. Although we
Fast.
have, scrubbed off a substantial amount of our speed already. Altitude at a little less than 60 kilometers.
Oof. There it goes. We're dropping.
All right, we're about 8 minutes away from our targeted landing and splashdown time. Again, this is when the ship's going to start really
Ship is
getting put
approaching
through
the
ringer.
end of the peak heating region.
Just heard the call out, getting to the end of the peak heating. So the highest temperature the Starship's going to see during its reentry.
Oh, cool. It shows the
Camera
P
angle
force.
changes as it is attached to the
We're
forward
coming down.
on Starship. So we're actually experiencing the articulation of that hardware, helping to
G-force.
steer
One.
the
Oh,
ship down
jeez.
for its precise landing in the Indian Ocean.
Yep, that is just a really cool, kind of cool piece of perspective.
We're coming down,
I know some people
so
say it makes them a little seasick, but I definitely love it. It makes it feel like you're really riding along with the ship on the way down.
Yeah, and aside from just looking cool, all these camera views providing just really critical data on
G-force is gonna
how
start
the
going
heat
up.
shield, how the flaps themselves are holding up. That's why we've got these in the flaps and then all scattered all
Surprised
around
it's
the ship.
holding up,
You
not
can
the
see
whole thing
how
catching
they
on
hold up.
fire.
There's some internal to the vehicle too that, and we're getting all of this video back via Starlink. Even as we're just enshrouded in plasma, we're able to kind of operate at a high enough frequency to punch through, and that is blue ocean and sunlight you're seeing just beyond the flaps. So we are coming down into daylight, hopefully splashing down in the next 6 minutes or so in the
That's right.
in the Indian Ocean. We've still got a couple maneuvers lined up where we're going to be really stressing the flaps on the ship. So
Ship has passed through the peak heating region. External temperatures are coming down.
Wow, that is incredible news. As Dan mentioned, we were
crap.
expecting this reentry to be super spicy, but excellent news that we're now past that period of peak heating and that now the external temperatures are starting to decrease.
Speeds are going down.
Those heat shield tiles there on the belly of the ship really doing
Speeds are going down.
work to burn off all of that inertia that the vehicle had prior to re-entering the atmosphere.
Yeah, and you can tell by the G meter down on the bottom right that we're starting to pick up a couple more Gs here, so we're definitely entering the thicker part of the atmosphere where we're scrubbing off all that energy, like Kate's saying.
Oh, jeez.
all right, just about 5
Speeds are
minutes
going
or so
down.
to go. We're coming up shortly on the maneuver where we're gonna, it's affectionately called the flap slap, where we're going to kind of pitch the nose up on the ship, and you're going to see those aft flaps, the ones in the very bottom, fully deploy.
Here we go.
Ship is at peak dynamic pressure.
And we're now at peak pressure.
Here we go.
Ship flap load test has started.
Oof. Oh, dang. Coming in hot.
Looks like it's holding. Again, the intent of that was to put just a lot of extra stress on those aft flaps. We are expecting the forward ones too to see a little bit of extra stress as we've got more propellant in our header tank, so the area right at the very nose of
Ship
Starship.
flap load test is complete.
And we're through that test.
There we go. And we just did that test at Mach 7, just for reference there. So we are still going incredibly fast.
Well, speeds are going down, so.
All right, we are just about 3.5 minutes or so away from our targeted landing burn. Again, we're expecting to try and see 2 of these Raptor engines light for the landing burn. Normally we plan for 3, but we're going to give it a try with 2. Hopefully we've got
Ship is starting the RTLS banking maneuver.
Oh, jeez.
And that right there, so we're starting a banking maneuver, and essentially what that is when we come back to Starbase, or when we plan to come back to Starbase, the trajectory is designed so we'll essentially swing out over the Gulf and do a swoop maneuver to then come back to the towers for catch. And so we are doing that exact same maneuver as we head towards our targeted splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, and that call out there that we heard, RTLS, stands for Return to Launch Site. So definitely a pretty cool thing we're demoing here on the ship. You know, as in the future, we are going to be trying to bring the ship back to the launch site, which is going to be absolutely insane.
Absolutely. But of course, we want to test out these maneuvers, these principles prior to actually bringing the hardware back to the pad. This
All
is the
right.
same reason why
We're coming down.
Intentionally not trying to bring the booster back to the pad. So we're trying all these things out in this developmental phase of the vehicle, and really proving what a test flight is.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
Dynamic pressure is coming down.
All right, we heard there dynamic pressure coming down, and I'd say we're in a pretty good bank right now.
Yeah, executing the power slide. We're about 90 seconds away from our anticipated landing burn. Clouds coming up, pretty sunrise on the other side of the planet.
Starship is subsonic and is on target.
All right, it's coming down.
The crowd here reacting to that call out, letting us know that we are on target for this precise landing in the Indian Ocean. This will once again be a soft splashdown.
Hopefully.
We should get some pretty cool views from the recovery team who we chatted with earlier. They are standing by to receive this ship. Once again, this is the first flight of our completely redesigned Starship version 3.
Yeah, and if you remember the suborbital flights from a few years ago, this is very much the same regime that we're in here. So we're sub 15 kilometers, executing what we call the belly flip maneuver.
Yes, serial number 8, the first belly flop. I remember it well.
We're coming down.
Some really amazing views of the Earth as the ship is coming back home. Thanks, Starlink.
Yeah, you can see the aft flap there making minor corrections.
Starship is turning for final approach to landing site.
Look at that turn.
There we go. Minor corrections and a full turn.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, Starship doesn't fly like an airplane. It's a lot more like a skydiver. Full belly flop on the way down.
All
Using
right.
those flaps similar to arms to help change the path of the air over you. Coming up real soon. Again, going for a landing burn, trying to light 2 of these Raptor sea level engines.
Landing burn startup.
Landing burn startup. 2 engines lit.
There it goes.
Lit. Buoy cam
Starship is
testament.
landed.
Let's see. It's going.
Time.
And bam!
Amazing. That ball of fire is exactly what we wanted to see for the ship today. As weird as it may sound to
Heck yeah!
it is the truth.
Absolutely wild. We